On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the Director of Fire Services, and all officers of the Fire Department, let's work together to help prevent fires, because fire safety is everyone's responsibility, and the life you save may be your own.
At the Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In a replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahama Protected.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition. The government's bid to acquire the Grand Bahama Port Authority takes an unexpected turn as the offer is now withdrawn. We have the full details. Also, chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party firing back at the opposition leader's concerns over lack of communication between industrial companies and the government. And it's a popular trend, but now doctors are warning against the health risks associated with vaping. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, new developments coming to light surrounding the government's pursuit to acquire the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Last year, the Prime Minister affirmed his administration's eagerness to procure the Port Authority and its assets if a suitable buyer is not found. But in a surprising turn of events, the chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party is revealing tonight that the Prime Minister has withdrawn the offer. The full details are in tonight's top story.
You know that various promises were made by the Prime Minister to advance his position that the shareholders need to divest themselves. I'm advised that that offer has now been withdrawn by the government.
In a recent and unexpected twist, the Grand Bahama Port Authority acquisition saga has taken a new direction, with Prime Minister Davis withdrawing the offer to purchase the Port Authority and its assets. The development comes after Prime Minister Davis confirmed the government's willingness to pursue the acquisition if a suitable buyer could not be found. According to Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, the government has decided to take the matter to arbitration. The decision to withdraw the offer is reportedly tied to the government's pursuit of compensation for what they believe the city owners owe the Bahamas government for the services rendered.
I think the Prime Minister is at the point where dynamic must to move the project along to Bahamianize fully the city and to bring the city into conformity with the rest of the growth which is going in our country.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority has long been a key player in the economic landscape of Freeport, and the government's interest in its acquisition had sparked various discussions and speculations surrounding the future of the city. However, Mitchell asserts optimism that the arbitration process is expected to bring further clarity to the situation as the government seeks redress for what they consider owed by the city owners. The details surrounding the compensation claim and the services in question remain undisclosed at this time.
There was an agreement on how services are to be how the government is to be compensated for the services which it provides to the city. There was an agreement when there's a dispute to take them out of arbitration, and the government has decided, since we can't get the lines on it, that's the way forward. So prime ministers have discussed with lawyers about how to take that forward.
The sudden change in the government's position adds complexity to an already intricate negotiation process. As the story unfolds, ZNS News will continue to provide updates on this crucial development that could significantly impact the economic landscape of Grand Bahama. Meanwhile, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, who has been outspoken about the Port Authority's performance, acknowledges that the public exchanges may have somewhat strained the relationship between the two entities. However, he expresses confidence that the arbitration process will ultimately resolve any lingering issues.
I think that the exchanges which have taken place in public, essentially the shares that they're not going to respond favorably. So I guess there was no point in moving along that track. So another attempt is being made to move the project forward by the idea of arbitration.
Well, the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Michael Pintard, has recently expressed deep concerns regarding the apparent lack of consistent and meaningful discussions between industrial companies, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and the government. In a press conference in New Providence, he outlined two crucial needs that in his view, require immediate attention. And tonight, Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party is firing back. Ajaquant has more in this report.
We met with the leaders of the industrials in Grand Bahama. And you know what they said? They are not having sufficient discussions with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
At a recent press conference in the nation's capital, leader of the opposition says there is an urgent need to address the issues of stakeholder consultation and establish a streamlined one-stop approval process. He says these conversations are lacking amongst both the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the government.
This government has not done a good enough job in terms of stakeholder consultation. And when we were in, we could have done a better job, in my view, in terms of all stakeholders identifying what the top challenges are in Grand Bahama and looking at a collective solution. The things they are asking for, like environmental bylaws, that are slowing down their expansion of their business or even getting their business started, they cannot engage with the real decision makers to move the process along.
In response to these concerns, the chairman of the governing party, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, clarifies that the government is involved with these conversations, noting that the Minister for Grand Bahama is present and accessible on the island.
Such assertion is completely untrue. The Minister for Grand Bahama is completely au fait with everything which is happening in the industrial sector, in the labor sector of Grand Bahama, with the stakeholders throughout the community. The dialogue has been frank, and she and the Minister of Labor have been working together, in particular on this last incident that happened.
The opposition leader also drawing attention to the recent closure of Pharmac Cam Technologies, a move that has left 140 employees jobless. He questioned the government's awareness of the situation and demanded transparency regarding the steps being taken to support the affected workers. Mitchell also addressing the Pharmac Cam closure, ensuring that the government is fully committed to supporting the affected employees of Pharmac Cam. and are working to ensure they receive what they are owed and that the necessary steps are taken to address the aftermath of the closure.
I can assure the Bahamian public that the Prime Minister is working as best he can to ensure that, first of all, the workers are protected.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
In other news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is actively addressing residents' concerns regarding the safety of the approach to the newly erected pipeline over the Grand Bahamian Highway. This project, led by the Grand Bahama Shipyard, is set to span the next 8 weeks. GBPA is engaged with the Ministry of Works and Utilities to ensure that all essential safety mechanisms and signage are in place before the commencement of material movement through the pipeline. During this preparatory period, the traffic management plans to continue to be adjusted until both agencies are satisfied. While some initial improvements have been implemented, such as increased visibility and hazard warnings, additional measures are underway. These include more signage, adjustments to traffic barriers, and the demarcation of safe zones for emergency road pull-off. GBPA has insisted that the items be implemented as soon as possible. Some of these items are currently in progress, being carried out by local vendors and external sources as possible. In the interim, the GBPA, along with the Ministry of Works or local representatives, will continue to monitor the implementation of all required improvements. Well, as tourism numbers climb on Grand Bahama, a $250 million development is set to also rebrand and relaunch Grand Bahama as a high-end tourism destination. This as construction on the Weller Six Senses Resort is expected to commence this summer. We have the details in this report.
It's a unique opportunity to showcase the island in a different way than it's been showcased before.
Mark Weller, president of Weller Development, highlighting the transformative impact that Six Senses Resort and Villas is expected to bring to the island of Grand Bahama. The expansive 50-acre property is set to feature a luxury resort village complete with 64 resort villas, a wellness center, and the signature Six Senses Spa. Additional amenities include multiple restaurants, event spaces, a beach club, and an oceanfront pool, promising a blend of opulence and tranquility.
The attraction is obviously what you see right here, which is the amazing natural beauty. You have incredible white sand. You have the most beautiful sort of beaches around and the most beautiful water, combined with proximity to the United States, only 58 miles from West Palm Beach, which is really incredible if you think about that.
Weller revealed that a local construction company has been contracted to commence construction in the summer of 2024. Upon completion in 2026, the project aims to provide employment opportunities for hundreds of locals, contributing significantly to the island's economy.
So our goal is to dig deep into the people that live here and maybe people that are on other islands right now that want to come back and live back on Grand Bahama again. But that's definitely the plan, is to create jobs and opportunity and economic prosperity for people who currently live here and want to move back to Grand Bahama.
The investment is anticipated to bolster air travel to the island, with Weller emphasizing the crucial role of the airport's completion in 2025.
You know, the Six Senses Resort and the other projects that are going on around the island will definitely draw airlift and create more demand. So we're really, really excited to see this new airport get developed and built. We think the airport is absolutely critical for the long-term success of the island.
When questioned about his decision to invest in constructing a resort on the island, Weller cited the warmth and hospitality of the local community as a significant factor, despite the historical challenges posed by hurricanes. He expressed confidence in moving forward with the project.
Not deterred at all. I think if you're going to be in many of these places that are as beautiful as this, you're going to deal with those types of issues. So you have to be sure that you build for them, you build around them, and you build with resiliency.
Well, in meeting their goals of equipping budding entrepreneurs, UB Ignite has officially partnered with Eugene DePuck Law School. The partnership is expected to assist with further educating business minds in the future endeavors. Shane Stubbs was there for the official contract signing and filed this report.
Eugene DePuck Law School officially putting pen to paper, signing a memorandum of understanding with the UB Ignite project. The purpose of the MOU is to establish a strong partnership between both parties, allowing students of UB Ignite free access to legal experts and legal elements of entrepreneurial education. Director of the Legal Aid Clinic, Nicole Sutherland King, on the venture.
We were very excited to have the opportunity to come and support Grand Bahama in its current thrust to create a more robust economy. And so we're very pleased to lend our expertise.
Tutor at the law school, Keenan Johnson, says that the signing with UB Ignite was just a formality, and they have in fact been working with the UB Ignite project since its second cohort. A number of budding entrepreneurs have come and gone through the program, and Johnson says the legal seminars provide those with specific goals the opportunity to get practical legal advice.
The business license process, company incorporation, we touch on intellectual property, document preparation in terms of different contracts that they may need. We believe that the mentorship program that we're going to continue with will also even provide even a greater guidance as they continue on.
Principal of EDLS, Tonya Bastin-Galanis, says lending their support in this vein ties in with their broader community mission.
We're able to extend our academic reach, and we're able to dig into this important collaborative learning opportunities for the greater good of our country.
Now, with a formal agreement in place, faculty coordinator of UB Ignite, Juliana Topazli, and staff of the Northern Campus are excited about the future of the project and its future participants.
Being able to grow these partnerships to ensure that we listen to the needs of entrepreneurs, local community, addressing their needs, providing advice which is current.
By including the law school, the legal aid clinic, that just tells you how serious we are about this program.
Recent events, particularly in Grand Bahama, have drawn focus to the need for individuals to take on the role of entrepreneurship.
Now, Eugene DePuche Law School will organize and deliver seminars and collaborate with UB to organize more training sessions and webinars specific to various legal topics for entrepreneurs. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Sure. In news from police on Bimini, police on that northern island are actively investigating the circumstances surrounding an incident that has left a 2-year-old toddler hospitalized after ingesting suspected marijuana treats. The incident reportedly taking place shortly around noon on Monday, January 15th, 2024. Preliminary reports indicate that police were alerted by medical personnel at the local community clinic that a little girl was unresponsive after she allegedly ingested edible marijuana gummies. The child was examined by the local doctor and subsequently airlifted to New Providence for further medical treatment. A 27-year-old female is assisting police with the ongoing investigations. Well, vaping, also known as e-cigarettes or e-hookahs, is not as healthy as a lot of people may think. Tonight, our Jolanda Thompson takes a deeper look into the side effects of this particular device with a local doctor.
It's a familiar trend and a new product that has garnered the likes of many young men and women around the world. Vaping, a new way of smoking, has seemingly become positive in the eyes of many, but the World Health Organization releasing a warning on the side effects of this new product.
Vaping is not safe due to the fact that anything that contains nicotine that could long-term harm your body, and what I mean by that is can long-term cause the effects of cancer, can put you at risk for strokes, can actually put you at risk for heart disease. It's not safe.
And while some may think that this particular style is fun, the aerosol that it contains is not healthy. Dr. Charles Virgil IV advises that as simple as inhaling and exhaling flavored marijuana, there's more to it than just that.
That's actually a very big concern, okay? And you could find that some of these nicotine devices or these e-cigarettes or these vapes actually contain as much as 20 times the amount of nicotine actually in that device compared to a single cigarette butt.
The World Health Organization sharing that vaping contains dangerous chemicals that affects your brains and lungs. They also inform that it disrupts the development of those in their mid-20s and it causes seizures.
It actually interferes, meaning the vape smoke or even the harsh chemicals that I mentioned before, it interacts with the electrical activity inside the brain. And so if you're somebody who was already prone to actually having seizures or some kind of chemical from the actual vape interferes with your brain function, it can trigger a seizure. And so those new skills, the language that you want to learn, all these different things that starts to develop during that age, that ripe age to where things are a bit more easier to develop, the vaping can actually interact with that connectivity or that synapse of the brain or that development.
The most popular vaping brand is the Joel, and Virgil explains with this particular brand, it's no ordinary vaping device. He educates that this brand package comes in the form of a USB device, a pen, or even a cell phone case.
Imagine your child holding a USB device or holding a regular pen or pencil, and they just put it to their mouth. And without you even knowing or having any idea, the only thing you smell is this either banana scent or strawberry scent. And these are the type of things that parents need to look out for.
The pediatrician noting that vaping is still being studied and the chemicals and harsh metal affects your body long term. He adds that while young people may feel that it helps calm the nerve, it actually enables a vicious cycle of nicotine dependence and as a result of that, nicotine withdrawal. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest.
When we come back, a local entertainer is venturing into a new avenue. The details, sports, and more straight ahead.
Come on down now. Come on down now.
Unwind every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Prop Club at the Grand Lucayan Hotel. Enjoy tasty food specials on draft beers and house specialty pizzas. The Prop Club, the best place to meet friends and enjoy happy hour. List your home in Grand Bahama with H.G. Christie. Visit their new office in the Port Lucayan Marketplace. H.G. Christie, celebrating over 100 years of service.
Health officials announced early on that the curve of the fourth wave has been flat.
Stand by, Talon. 2 and cue.
We have a dynamic team of diverse, enthusiastic journalists committed to uncovering the truth and delivering it with zeal and integrity.
Interpol confirms that the victim's body was found by an individual who was involved in the search.
We tell the heartwarming tales of resilience and success, from local politics to cultural events. We have it covered. We have Aja coming live from Bimini tonight for our top story. We are your trusted source in the North. We are ZNS Northern Edition. Join us for the rebroadcast of the 2024 New Year's Day Junkety Parade on Saturday, January 20th at 7:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Governor General of the Bahamas, the Most Honorable, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, continued her tour of Grand Bahama, fostering relationship with residents on the island. Her Excellency spending the majority of her time speaking with maritime cadets before making various stops throughout West Grand Bahama. Shane Stubbs was there and filed this report.
Her Excellency Cynthia A. Pratt, in her official visit as the Governor General of the Bahamas, spent her time meeting with the 4th cohort of the Maritime 101 program at Elnet Maritime Agency. Grateful that Her Excellency opted to stop by and motivate the cadets with her moving back story was Elnet CEO Ellie Hepburn.
She's pretty much the mother of our nation. Listening to her just now give her speech and talking about her journey specifically, it almost brought tears to my eyes. To get to this point now where we're able to have her come and speak and to just inspire these young people, I think was definitely just a gift from God.
As her passion burns for young people, Her Excellency encouraged the continued uplifting of teenagers through the program.
This is a privilege. It's an opportunity. The visionary is here, but he can only take you so far. This program is one that's indicative of what he wants to see happen, because your opportunity might not come again.
Her Excellency's visit transitioned west, where she visited various government agencies and also got a full view of the courthouse here at the Obadiah H. Worsham Complex. In that same visit, she also met with staff members of beautiful Grand Bahama, where she left encouraging words, thanking them for their hard work.
Thank you for providing the work for them, Father. Thank you, Father, for stability. People like yourselves, you make the dream work. I want to say to all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you again.
From there, Her Excellency paid a brief visit to the oldest living resident in West End, 97-year-old Sarah Russell, who was all smiles and dressed to the nines for the occasion. It was then time to eat and greet with the seniors down in West End at a special luncheon held at the St. Mary Magdalene's Parish Hall. The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honourable Ginger Moxie, and the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama, Kingsley Smith, both share how the Governor-General continues to be a motivation.
She is my mentor. I appreciate and love her so much because she loves people so much, and she's always impacting lives.
While she's in her season, she wants to touch lives. She wants to make an impact because she has an awesome story to tell. It's an inspiration to all to know Mother Brad's story.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Well, 21-year-old Jamie Fine, a known entertainer from Grand Bahama, is venturing into a new area with the launch of his Bahama Mag magazine. The magazine aims to celebrate small businesses throughout the country and promote the power of networking. Our Aja Quant sat with the editor and chief, who says it took a small idea and blood, sweat, and tears to bring this new magazine to the forefront. Here's his story.
Bahama Magazine is a promotional magazine that aims to unveil Bahamian trendsetters and entrepreneurs of businesses upcoming and already established.
At just 21 years old, Jamie Fine combined his creative skills to create Bahama magazine. Fine says the magazine was created to make a global impact while serving as a platform for inspiration and empowerment. But how did he think to create such a magazine? Well, Fine says it all started as a simple idea in October 2022.
Just sitting down, I was like, how can I connect my people? How can I make a networking system for them?
However, it took a hiatus before resurfacing a year later, triggered by a reminder from a social media app. The magazine's inaugural issue debuted in January 2024, set for quarterly releases throughout the year.
There's going to be 4 magazines for the year 2024. It's going to be issue 1, which is from January to March, and then April, and then October, and July.
The magazine's mission is to inform, captivate, and spotlight individuals contributing to the community, while encouraging others to recognize local talents within the Bahamas. The first quarter's focus centers on spotlighting numerous small businesses from Grand Bahama, Fine's hometown.
I have to start with my people. I have to show them, I have to give them their recognition because honestly, we don't really give people their flowers. And as entrepreneurs, we try to push ourselves out there due to the platform given to us, but it's only so much that we can do for ourselves personally.
Functioning as both editor-in-chief and graphic designer, the magazine's founder draws inspiration from the power of networking.
It takes time. It takes time, a lot of sweat, tears, and hard work. I just stayed up at night and literally called my friend, telling her I want to cry and give up again, but all good things come with you actually working hard for it. You can't just say you want to do something and then don't like what you're doing, so you have to push and keep going after it.
Expressing a deep-rooted passion for his community, the owner hopes that Bahama Mag will serve as a catalyst for local residents to venture into entrepreneurship. Reflecting on the challenges Grand Bahama has faced, the magazine aspires to foster a spirit of resilience and encourage the growth of small businesses within the region.
Hopefully this will be a gateway to allow businesses to start and allow people to be qualified for these positions if they have businesses.
The magazines are $5 each and can be bought at issue.com/fine_graphics. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azra Quant.
Your check on sports is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. We have a whole lot of sports for you. High school basketball, night league basketball, but let's begin with track and field. Bimini native Laquan Chump Ellis made his college debut for Florida State University on the weekend at the Jimmy Carnes Invitational. Laquan competed in the men's triple jump, winning that event with a leap of 14.91 meters. Switching gears now in hoops. Scores from the Obie Wilchcombe Derek Nesbitt High School Basketball League. In Game 1, Jack Haywood got the win against BMES in a nail-biter 24-23. Ravon Gibson led the Wildcats with 10 points in the win.
The more games we play, obviously they're getting used to the environment and the field for the game. We're starting to move the ball a little bit better, but we still have a long ways to go. I like the young group of kids, but it's a learning curve and a learning process. So, you got to take the good with the bad.
Now in Game 2, the Sunland Stingers got the W versus Study Hall Academy 53-20 to remain undefeated. Edwin Ferguson was the top scorer with 15 points for the Stingers. Jermaine Woodside added 12 points, while Dinesh Kelly chipped in with 10 points. The final game of the day also saw St. George's Jaguars picking up a big win to stay unbeaten as well on the season. The final score in that game was 41-14 over 8 Mount Rock High. Kivaro Pigeon Russell led the Jaguars with 11 points in the victory. We also have scores from opening day of the Grand Bahama Basketball Association Night League. In Game 1, New Era Gym Rats edged out Grand Lucayan 71-66. In overtime, Regis Cooper scored 19 points in the win for the Gym Rats. Christopher Chicken Turnquest scored 20 in a losing effort. The second game of the night saw the Fugees edge out Cornet Shipping 60-57. Trevor Bain scored 18 points in the win. Ahmad Pratt had 15 in the loss. And finally in sports, BMES Lady Warriors won the Churchill Knowles Michael Moore Senior Girls Softball Championship 12-2 over St. George's Lady Jaguars. MVP honors went to pitcher Sine Roberts. Congratulations goes out to the BMES Lady Warriors. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
John West Shoes is now open. Carmichael West, Nassau, behind Wendy's.
8:10 a.m. The Light. Coffee and conversation with me, Gigi. Waking you up each day. The aim is to inspire you. The aim is to encourage you. It's a joy to come here each and every morning. I don't consider this work at all. I haven't worked a day in my life. That's how much I enjoy it. Join us for the rebroadcast of the 2024 New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade on Saturday, January 20th at 7:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the national report, a toddler ingests marijuana treats. Fire disrupts junior high school classes. Prayers for the nation well received. And in sports, golf clubs in action at Exuma Classic. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
everyone, I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. While the general consensus is that reducing the country's crime wave is a collective effort, the government has devised a strategy it hopes will make a dent in it. Following his national address Sunday, the Prime Minister released more information on his administration's crime-fighting tactics. Here's Carla Palmer.
The statement from the Prime Minister's office Tuesday reiterates the government's resolve to confront what it regards as a national crisis of crime in the country head-on. Touting the combat strategy as one that will be unrelenting, the statement detailed the plan as holistic and to encompass every aspect of government and sectors of society in the crime-fighting effort. The statement highlighted the 5 pillars of the government's strategy to include prevention, policing detection, prosecution, punishment, and rehabilitation. Each pillar, according to the statement, is designed to address different aspects of crime. With respect to prevention, the statement reads, initiatives will specifically target at-risk populations. As such, there will be expanded youth programs, investing in community centers, and enhancing educational opportunities. As for policing and detection, here will be a greater effort to strengthen the relationship between police and communities, along with modernizing policing methods using advanced technology. With the third pillar, prosecution, the government seeks to further improve the judicial process through swift justice, establishing special courts to address specific crimes and enhancing support systems for victims and witnesses. With the fourth pillar, punishment, the government is intent on implementing fair and appropriate punishments, including sentencing reforms, while at the same time improving prison conditions. Reintegration into society is key, and so rehabilitation is essential as a deterrent to recidivism. And so preparing offenders for a successful return to society with the necessary vocational training, educational programs, and mental health support is crucial. The statement further reads that the government views its comprehensive plan as a no-nonsense approach to public safety and is encouraging participation from all involved. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
With 11 murders already on this year's books, the funerals of these victims show the extensive impact of their deaths. Today, Vaughn Aubrey attended the homegoing service of 2 men whose families are no strangers to grief.
It's been just over a month now since cousins Ricardo Slick Rick Rowe and Shavir Jarivi King were gunned down outside their grandparents' Nichols Court Yellow Elder Gardens home. As police tell us, there was an exchange of gunfire between the assailants and what would become the victims. Fast forward to Tuesday, and a heavily guarded funeral service got underway for the 2 at Golden Gates Assembly amid bouts of wails, tears, and deep sadness. Officiating, Bishop Trent Davis charged that these deaths, like those of so many other crime victims, extend far beyond their immediate families.
That when people are murdered, it's an entire community that suffers. And so we want to bring the hope of Jesus Christ, not only to this family, but to the Yellow Elder community and to our country by extension.
And their pain persists.
When families lose loved ones, it doesn't end on that day. That there has to be a cleanup process and a healing process. And there are people connected to each murder. And so my job today is to give hope to this family that things can get better, to give hope to the children that are left over, for them to know that there are people that do care.
The 2 grieving mothers, sisters. Bishop Davis drove home their loss.
No parent should ever have to bury their child. And so this is extremely difficult because this goes against the natural order of life. And so we want to reverse that. We want people to fulfill their destinies. As you've said, they were cut down before the prime of their life. And so my hope is this trend can change and that healing would take place in our land and this crime would turn around when people see that there are families connected to all of these people.
And his message was powerfully simple.
that we need love. That's what our country desperately needs, is love at this time. For God so loved the world. So my message is a message of love and peace and hope. And I believe that the word of God and the power of Jesus Christ will be able to comfort this family.
Asked to comment on the Prime Minister's National Crime Address that stressed that criminals will not win, Bishop Davis said,
my view is that the plan that they've put forward is a comprehensive one, and I feel if we all gather and get behind it, for me, I really want us to focus on the prevention of crime. And then if there is a criminal element, we must also strengthen, as a part of the plan is the rehabilitation, because we're all God's children.
And yet, the murders continue. The question then is, when will the back of crime be broken? For the Bahamas Tonight, I am Vaughn Albury.
Meantime, Bimini police are looking into the circumstances surrounding an incident that has left a 2-year-old girl in hospital. Medical personnel at the local community clinic alerted police that the toddler was unresponsive after eating marijuana gummies. She was examined by the local doctor and airlifted here to New Providence for further medical attention. At last report, a 27-year-old woman was assisting police with their investigations into this matter. We also have more information tonight on yesterday's shark attack. Now, what we can tell you is that authorities confirmed that a 10-year-old boy from Maryland was reportedly bitten on the right leg just before 4 o'clock Monday. The child was at the time participating in an expedition in a shark tank at a Paradise Island resort. He was taken to hospital where he's listed in stable condition. Investigations continue. Still on police news this evening, authorities confirming that a formal complaint has been filed in connection with an incident involving an assault with battery on a woman. The incident garnering much attention across multiple social media platforms. Police say they have arrested a man in connection with the matter. As for the victim, she is under doctor's care. Big business in fraud, it seems, at least based on a rash of suspects police are looking to question. Makush Lapender has the details.
The RBPF's Complaints and Corruption Branch issuing 13 wanted posters. Among the accused, Akeem Store, a 31-year-old of Georgetown, Exuma. Store's description pinned down as dark brown-skinned and slim build. His height, though, unknown. 23-year-old Stephen Brannon is from Palm Beach Street. Little info given on how he looks, save that he, too, is brown-skinned. Allegations of fraud also brought against Louis Morley Jr. He's a 39-year-old resident of Pine Yard Road, Seabreeze. Police equally keen on talking to 42-year-old Dario Duncombe, whose stomping ground is Chippingham. That also the case for Dwight Knowles, 43. Adelaide, the last known address for fellow suspect, 37-year-old Gino Clark. Meantime, Bitterroot Street Seabreeze resident Sean Brown also wanted for questioning, and so is Petrino Hackshaw of Stapleton Gardens, 46-year-old Ernest Morley, Mario Flowers, and Tracy Knowles. The only two women in the group, 50-year-old Foxillian Tamiko Arnett and Deante Colley, a 46-year-old of Nassau Village. No word if some or all the cases are connected. However, as the case in any crime, should you have any information that can assist the police in capturing the suspects, you're encouraged to call the nearest police station or the Complaints and Corruption Branch, and that's at 376-0213. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Makush Lapender.
A national day of prayer pulling in a cross-section of religious leaders and their followers, all keen on reducing the scourge of crime. Here's Lloyd Allen.
Following 11 homicides in the span of 6 days in 2024, government officials say an end must come to crime. As a result of this, hundreds turning out Monday night for a national day of prayer held at Rawson Square with one voice, bringing an end to crime. Among those turning out, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, again using the opportunity to admonish Bahamians to stand together in this fight.
As one nation, we share our anger and our anguish about the violence and crime which haunt our streets. But we also share faith that we can come together to do the Lord's work and heal our broken hearts and broken communities.
President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernandez, says the work continues.
I think there's no other source of strength than to have the hand of God rest on them before we open Parliament.
Pleased with the turnout at last night's event, Bishop Fernandez spoke of plans to go well beyond Monday's National Day of Prayer.
Prime Minister has rolled out initiatives. The church has a Operation Restoration that we're moving. You'll see it on some of the programs that will be running this week. We've been in the trenches. We rise again. And God being our God, we shall overcome.
A number of religious leaders also at last night's event.
Someone like me, I need to be an example to a younger generation.
A lot of things, we can see a lot of things. And we can come tonight and just focus on the home. God help us to get the family structure back together, help us to get the family back in unity, you know. It will be good.
And I'm here to support because this is something that we do every day, praying for the nation, praying for people.
Senior pastor of New Life Restoration Ministries, Fanchon Brennan, says her church has committed to praying crime out of the Bahamas.
God spoke to us and told us that we needed to be here tonight to be able to help the nation to pray.
Pray for the nation!
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, and still to come, the central bank's new mortgage policy praised, plus our feature story of the night, the Defense Force's first female captains, after our final look on weather. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good conch salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Disney Cruise Line is back in the community, spreading cheer this holiday season. From Eleuthera, where Disney is creating its second island destination, Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, to Nassau and Abaco, where many of our Castaway Key crew members call home. Our volunteers are creating magical experiences and memorable moments for local children. Disney Cruise Line is committed to supporting youth initiatives in the Bahamas and creating lasting, positive impact in the communities we call home.
How important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Efforts underway to further strengthen and enhance the country's labor force, according to Labor Minister the Honorable Pia Glover Roll. Those plans include providing employment opportunities for Bahamians.
We're going to look at our notice of vacancy enforcement unit, where we're going to mold and shape the framework of our policy unit, where we're ensuring that we are securing positions in the job market, in the workforce for Bahamians, and where those roles are currently occupied by foreigners, and there's a capability for us to train and mentor Bahamians into those roles, then we want to make sure that that's happening.
The newly released apprenticeship policy framework shows that 50% of high school leavers graduate without a diploma. Minister Glover Roll finds this distressing, but it's an issue her ministry plans to address.
We also have a very exciting program that I think will be a pillar of our society even going forward in the future, and that's our National Apprenticeship Program that we will bring to Parliament soon, and that will shape the culture of the workforce of our nation. This is going to be focused towards predominantly high school students, and the apprenticeship experience will be a rich one in which we can steer our students into career paths at an early age.
Kimsley Ferguson's looking to move the Bahamas Public Services Union forward after months in limbo following questions about its election results. Cleopatra Murphy has the details as he weighs in on the controversy.
Months after the official results of the election were challenged and declared null and void, Kimsley Ferguson and his power team have been declared the certified winners of the Bahamas Public Services Union general elections. President Ferguson, however, says he never doubted the ultimate outcome.
We were satisfied that the election committee followed the process laid out in the Constitution of the Bahamas Public Services Union. And again, we're not in the business of degrading and making derogatory statements and remarks towards those people that oppose us. Again, I reiterate, the work that we would have done spoke for us.
Former BPSU President John Pinder, who led the We Care team, and Alexander Burrows Jr. of the Power team challenged the results that saw Ferguson securing over 500 votes, Burrows over 400 votes, and Pinder over 300. Despite claims of irregularities, people showing up to vote with their names not on the register, and ballots not reaching Family Islands hours after polls opened, Ferguson insists the results of the investigation demonstrate democracy is alive and well.
Evidence and facts and points determines issues, and so we're satisfied that the information provided allowed the minister to make the determination that she indeed made. And like the minister, we are confident that the process produced the outcome which expressed the will of the membership.
Minister of Labor, the Honorable Pia Glover Roll, noted that a thorough investigation had been conducted and that any irregularities would not justify overturning the results. Ferguson says with all that behind them, the union can now focus on working with its approximately 5,000 members in the face of a number of issues like salary increases for those who did not receive them.
Our response in that particular regard, it's almost July again. And are we going to have a repeat of the same scenario based on verbiage that was placed in the industrial agreement that, according to them, didn't allow persons to receive what the Bahamas Public Service Union would have negotiated for on their behalf? And so we're asking that attention be paid to this so that we can get this resolved.
He also awaits the balance of promotions for finance and accounting officers and is hoping to have concerns with the PHA and Airport Authority addressed. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
With government set to increase national insurance contributions come July, President of the Bahamas Public Services Union, Kimsley Ferguson, foresees it will require adjustments for its membership based on current salaries. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis announced the pending increase in June following months of back and forth after the ILO's 11th actuarial report projected the fund would be insolvent by 2028 if urgent action was not taken. It was projected the fund was on tap to lose $95 million in 2023. Ferguson says he voiced his concerns about the increase to the Prime Minister previously.
Particularly for those persons at the lower end, based on the variation of the increases, persons at the lower end whose salaries and incremental values reflected some $37.50. When divided, I don't think they got more than a $2 increase, maybe even less. And so if you gave me $1 and you're taking 75 cents, I'm challenged. And so we're asking the government to give consideration, and we're hopeful that at some point the J.D. Edwards system that has appeared so archaic over the course of the year can be rectified.
Ferguson says it would allow the union to pursue general increases that would reflect equity across the board as the cost of living impacts everyone. He voiced concerns over what he says is government's reliance on taxation.
I think there needs to be a greater degree of innovation coming from the government of the Bahamas. We need some creativity on how to generate revenue so that we can survive as a people. You don't give me $1 and then tax me $1.25. You put me right back in the position where I was. So I do believe that a conversation needs to be had.
In other news tonight, since rejoining the local tourism market last month, the British Colonial has been steadily regaining its clientele. Here's Corvell Plyfrom with an update.
Taking a look around the new British Colonial Hotel, and it's almost hard to miss. The progress is both significant and stunning. And according to hotel leader Dan McDermott, the hotel seems poised for a great year ahead. The numbers are holding steady. The forecast is great success, he says, seems almost imminent. It's only been a month since that December ribbon-cutting ceremony, signaling a new era in the massively renovated British Colonial Hotel. As it goes with projects of this kind, the work is continuous, and that's exactly what is happening at the downtown hotel. But that work doesn't hide the fact that the British Colonial has come a long way in a very short time.
We're back and we're better than ever.
The stress and excitement of starting up a new hotel have kept Hotel General Manager Dan McDermott going non-stop. But the work, he admits, has been fruitful thus far.
You and I were here probably a couple months ago. If you had said back then that we would be where we are at this stage, looking the way it does right now, I think we both would have bet against it. And I think most people are shocked at the progress that was made.
What's also good, says McDermott, is the fact that occupancy levels are steadily climbing. The holiday season was pretty strong, and he's expecting this trend to last into spring.
I think we're anticipating March being very strong because it's the strongest month, I think, in the year with spring break and everything going on. And we're starting to see, I think we'll have our full complement of rooms really in the next 3 weeks.
The rooms offer a panoramic view overlooking the Nassau cruise port. In just days, the world's largest vessel ever, the Icon of the Seas, will be berthed here. McDermott says right now they are also going after the local market with a number of deals.
We're trying to get people in to see the hotel. We've got a daily happy hour that's going with special appetizers and pricing. And then we've also unveiled a local rate, which is available on our website at BritishColonial.com.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Plyfrom.
A leading banker is applauding the central bank's relaxed lending requirements for residential mortgages. President of Commonwealth Bank Denise Turnquest reasons that the removal of the mortgage indemnity insurance reduces the burden for qualified borrowers to achieve home ownership.
So that allows us a little more flexibility to help more Bahamians. I do think we've already talked about it internally, how we would apply it and how we would try to help more Bahamians to get home ownership, which is, something that Bahamians aspire to. And we're the bank for Bahamians. And so anything that we can do to assist our fellow Bahamians, we are happy to try to do that.
The bank rule allows financial institutions to set lower down payment requirements for residential mortgages in line with their internal frameworks for assessing and managing individual borrower risks. And while this idea is noble, Turnquest believes savings should be a priority for those seeking home ownership.
Reality is anything that you want to attain requires you to come up with something. And so, like I said, I really think that it's something that we should teach at an early age in school, teach the fundamentals of financial literacy to help our fellow Bahamians to achieve more.
We still have more news to come, but Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, more Bahamians joining the professional baseball ranks. We'll tell you who they are just ahead in sports.
You know that duck eggs are more nutritious than chicken eggs? Well, today we're going to meet a couple who specializes in duck egg production. I'm Leah Cooper, and this is Good to Grow.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know, 'cause if it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
But they're not just your average backyard farmers. These two have been able to develop a niche in duck egg production that has quite a number of locals flocking to their doorstep, an operation they've named Beat and Teach Farm.
My name is Kiaj McKenzie.
I'm Shantice McKenzie.
This is my wife.
He's my husband.
And we are some of your young local farmers. We were into chickens before, and we wanted to see what we would be able to do with the ducks. One of the things that we initially noticed was that the ducks are a more hardy bird, so they're less susceptible to diseases, parasites, and things of that nature.
So what's so special about duck eggs in comparison to chicken eggs?
When you talk about omega-3 and fatty acids and stuff like that, good cholesterol, this is all included in the duck egg. If you speak to persons who bake, the duck egg is a more dense egg, and so you would see a significant difference in the use of the duck egg compared to the chicken egg.
Mackenzie also tells us what the feedback has been from their customers.
We had a number of persons who tried it for the first time, and they became consistent customers, which is a good thing. We had persons who say, hey, it was a little strong for them, or it was a little thicker than they used to. But all in all, it wasn't bad reception. It was positive reviews. We were glad that persons caught on to it.
And from producing these duck eggs, Mackenzie says they've been able to tap into a delicacy in the Asian market.
So it's something they call balut. What it is the development of the embryo in the duck egg. And so we'd allow them to sit on the egg. They brood the egg, and once that happens, within a 15, 16-day period, we collect the eggs, and that's a specialty dish for them. You know, they look at it and they consider it an aphrodisiac.
Now it was time to get to work. We began by collecting the duck eggs. Then it was time to feed the ducks, who, by the looks of it, seemed eager to eat.
And then some in the middle. Right out. Push it. Throw it. Yeah, throw it. Don't worry about that. That's okay.
And finally, it was time to see what all the hype was about surrounding these duck eggs. The Mackenzies fired up the stove and allowed us to make a duck egg breakfast burrito. Just like the chicken egg. I really don't taste the difference.
That's what we tell people. I guess you season whatever you season, you can make duck taste like chicken.
Yeah, I would eat this. I would eat duck eggs. Tastes just like chicken to me. Mackenzie also shared with us the plans he and his wife has for the future of Beat and Teach Farm.
How persons understand that this domesticated bird can be readily available to anybody. That would be a second part of our venture, which would be the meat. But at this time, it's just getting persons to understand that there isn't that much of a difference. There are other means of eggs that you can consume and that are still delicious while also being healthy. It would be my vision, because our kids, they are workers, and we were fortunate enough to send our workers to school today. So it'll be our vision for them to continue to grow, learn what they could learn, and be able to pass that on to their generation.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Disney Cruise Line is back in the community, spreading cheer this holiday season. From Eleuthera, where Disney is creating its second island destination, Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, to Nassau and Abaco, where many of our Castaway Key crew members call home. Our volunteers are creating magical experiences and memorable moments for local children. Disney Cruise Line is committed to supporting youth initiatives in the Bahamas and creating lasting, positive impact in the communities we call home.
In the Yellow Elder Garden, Ali and her cousins listened to Grammy share tales. The 70s so sweet, with themed costumes and dancing feet. Then came the brass, reaching new heights. A symphony of Bahamian nights. The 2000s, the Yellow Elder, a symbol of pride. Grammy's legacy in view as Ali dances in her Yellow Elder costume. We are alive.
A recent fire at the S.C. McPherson School remains a concern for education officials as investigations continue. Lloyd Allen joins us live from the Blue Hill Road facility with more on this recent incident. Good evening, Lloyd.
Well, of course, good evening, LaDawn, and good evening, Bahamas. And LaDawn, you're absolutely right. Earlier last week, it was reported that a number of classrooms were destroyed based on a fire that occurred right here on the campus of S.C. McPherson School. Earlier today, we spoke with Director of Education, Dominique McCartney Russell, as well as President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, both adding more insight regarding this latest incident, but also painting a way forward for both teachers and students.
We got a report from the principal on Friday evening that there, was a suspected fire in the back of the school. And so once we arrived at the school, we saw the fire department. They were in the process of outing the fire. It was localized to a classroom block. It started in one classroom and spread, and so 4 classrooms were affected. As a result of that, the principal would have met. In fact, her team was already on the ground along with the school board, and they were discussing, the possible way forward.
Russell adding that a number of measures have been implemented to ensure students from the affected classes have a safe place to learn. She says classes in the agricultural block, along with temporary classes in the school's auditorium, are being used with plans to begin reconstruction. We're not certain what the estimated cost will be, although we have still asked the Ministry of Works to put a scope together. We really want to repair as quickly as possible, but we're just waiting for the fire department to complete their investigations. Meantime, President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, weighing in on the incident, citing concerns of displaced students and challenges with conducting regular classes on campus.
This has displaced approximately 4 classrooms, about 140 students and 8 teachers are directly impacted. So we had a meeting with the principal yesterday where a number of concerns were compiled from the teachers, which we discussed, and commitments were made. Wilson adding that her focus remains on protecting the rights of both teachers and students. We're only interested in a viable plan to ensure that teachers and students the teachers can teach and the students can learn in a safe, healthy environment. Now, LaDawn, right now, ongoing at the school is a PTA meeting, and we spoke with McCartney earlier today that indicated that conversations have been ongoing with ministry officials and school officials to ensure that recovery and reconstruction of those 4 classrooms are completed in due course. Reporting here from S.C. McPherson School for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, a Bahamian dancer will have her story told in an international publication after being named among the 30 under 30 for her contributions to the arts. She recently told us how she feels about this recognition and her next move. Courtney Spears has been dancing pretty much soon after she could walk, the tender age of 3, that is. This year, though, the Bahamian ballerina is being featured in the illustrious New Jersey-based Forbes magazine's 30 under 30 for her stellar work in the arts and style. Spears spent about 8 years dancing professionally for the world-renowned Alvin Ailey American Dance 2. On top of that, she's performed and taught dance in just about 15 countries.
I work so much and I love what I do, and I feel so blessed that God has given me the privilege to do what I love. And so a lot of times I'm just so focused on my work. I'm in it and I feel a passion when I do it, and it just feels so right. So a lot of the times I'm always thinking about what's next, how can I serve, how can I continue to be in the community. But I think God gives us these moments to give us a second to stop and pause and reflect on all that he's given us and given me, and it still doesn't feel real, but it feels really, really special.
Sears, who reminisced on Forbes magazine's launch party in New York City, says being passionate about dance, creating Artsy for young dancers, and putting on stellar performances for 2 sitting United States presidents placed her in good standings.
It was a big group of us who'd kind of flown all in, and it was, it didn't feel real looking at it on my phone screen, not on my computer screen, so it definitely was surreal to walk in and it have all of the lights and all of the things honoring us. And it was just a great mingling event to meet everybody else. And what I found is that they were all equally shocked to be there. So I was like, okay, I'm in the right space. We're all just young. We're all just going about our lives, leading our careers, trying, failing, trying again and failing again. And it was really, really surreal to be there, but also hear how they felt the same way. How did I get here? How did I deserve this? But just a true excitement and a space to be celebrated.
The granddaughter of Sister breast cancer advocate Andrea Sweeting, the 29-year-old recently moved to the Bahamas with plans of using her talent and experience to inspire others.
This season of my life has been one of the scariest and the most fulfilling, just because it's change. I love the Bahamas. I love the students here. I love seeing dance here. I think of all of the teachers who are on the ground here, Mr. Robert Bain, Mr. Lawrence Carroll, the legendary Miss Shirley Hall Bass, Andrea Johnson, Miss Nani Price. There's so many teachers here who are on the ground cultivating our young dancers, and I just want to do my part to help uplift them.
Spears was once nominated for a New York Emmy for her leading role in the Black Iris Project's A Mother's Right, and has been featured in Vogue, Allure, Vanity Fair, and Essence.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up for your life.
Continuing its Exuma Roadworks project, launching a similar exercise in Eleuthera this year, and elevating its Thanksgiving feeding drive, 2024 is already shaping up to be a pretty busy year for Bahama Striping Group of Companies. And its contribution to national development over the past 14 years is being recognized. Bahama Striping Group of Companies has been awarded Company of the Year by the Jones Communications Network. BSGC's General Manager Melanie Roach and JCN Representative Christian Jones on the significance of this honor.
We broadened the scope of the work. We're no longer just a striping company or a roadworks company. We're really expanding wherever we see a niche market to really grow and expand, not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of the country.
But I'm happy and I'm glad that we did make the decision, and especially everything that I've learned so far about Bahama Striping, about their core values and what they stand for. I believe the right decision was made and the right selection.
And it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, LaDawn. We have some patchy clouds outside of our studios. The temperature at 76 degrees. Relative humidity 87%. The winds are out of the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,015.0 millibars. That's 29.99 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 76 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Torquay, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco, the Berry Islands at 77. Alistown, Bimini, 78 also in Harbor Island. Rock, San Eleuthera, 77. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 78 degrees. And Camp Space at Andros and Blackmon, Exuma, they have a temperature of 79 degrees, while Alistown, Cat Island reporting 78. More 78s in San Salvador and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, warmer still at 80 degrees, 79s in Rygat Island, Clarence, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, Matsutan, Nagua, 82, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Dial King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands, you can anticipate south to southwest winds ahead of an advancing cold front. Speeds just around 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. Now, your high tide, that will take place at 11 minutes past midnight. Now, for the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds at 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. And then tomorrow, in the northwestern islands, that front system goes through during the morning hours. The winds will switch, becoming northwest to north behind the front, picking up in speeds 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights will also be building 3 to 6 feet, so caution flags will be extended to the northwest Bahamas tomorrow morning. Now, the low tide tomorrow takes place at 6:27 in the morning. The high tide, that will occur at 12:26 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, light and variable winds, wave heights 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. And then on Thursday, those winds will swing out of the east, and they will be starting off at 10 to 15 knots, but increasing 15 to 25 knots. Wave heights building 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we'll have an advisory in place for boaters on Thursday as a result of those strong winds. Low tide takes place at 7:33 in the morning, with a high tide at 1:25 in the afternoon. Now, for the central and southeastern islands, east to southeast winds 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet, maintaining that caution flag. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Livingston, Josiah JP. Livingston, Josiah JP. Ayana hila la la la. Josiah JP. Ayana hila la la la. Josiah JP. Don't mind Livingston, Josiah JP. Don't mind Livingston.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Want to have your voice heard? Send your letters to the editor to digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. Share your thoughts on current events or positive stories within your community. That's digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. We want to hear from you.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies was birthed
out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Well, exciting day for local baseball yesterday. In addition to the three youngsters we told you about that signed with the Boston Red Sox, a fourth young Bahamian also inking his name to a professional baseball contract as International Elite Sports Academy prospect Gerardo Bain Jr. joined the Toronto Blue Jays organization. This at a ceremony that took place at the Andre Rogers Baseball Diamond in front of dozens of friends and family. Bain joining Max D prospects E.J. Darville, Toronto Baker, and Trent Wilson, who signed earlier in the afternoon at the office of the Prime Minister. And another day of exciting golf tournament play going on at the Great Exuma Classic. Once again, Amajal Knowles bringing us up to speed.
Tuesday's action at the 2024 Corn Ferry Great Exuma Classic at the beautiful San Jose Emerald Bay, wrapping up with some new faces atop the leaderboard. Out in front, a two-way tie for the top spot as German Jeremy Paul and American Kevin Roy are both tied at 11 under. Rounding up the next two spots, a two-way tie again for third and fourth, Cristobal Del Solar and American Mason Anderson at 10 under. And rounding out the top five is a four-way tie between Fred Biondi, KK Limbasut, Chandler Blanchett, and Quade Cummins, who are all 9 under par.
You know, the wind was up again today. This golf course, when the wind blows, it's really tricky. Any one shot, you can make a double bogey real quick. I had an up and down kind of first 6 holes. I made 2 birdies, 2 double bogeys, and another bogey, and then just kind of made all pars and a birdie from there.
I thought I played fine. I mean, I played really good. On the front 9, I was 5 under through 11, and then just made a couple bogeys coming in. But overall, good day. Pretty solid. So, yeah.
It was a little bit slower out there today. Didn't quite make as many putts, but yeah, played solid for the most part. Hit a lot of fairways and greens, and just would have been nice to see a couple more putts fall.
Additionally, the golfers speaking about the tough level of competition amongst the field.
Yeah, I think the Corn Ferry Tour, I mean, the competition's so deep. The skill level of the players, the work ethic of the guys out here is second to none, honestly. These probably 30 players who've played, you know, making the cut, they're going to play on the PGA Tour next year. You know, so you've got a lot of different players, even who have played the PGA Tour, still have status on the PGA Tour. They're playing here this week. So it's extremely difficult competition and a great venue to do it.
As for the lone Bahamian in the competition, Dewan Robinson, his focus will now shift to the Great Abaco Classic as he would miss the cut here in Exuma, finishing 9 over with a final score of 78. Of course, tomorrow is the final day of competition, and we will have the highlights as well as the winner and closing festivities in tomorrow's Sportscast. For my cameraman Victor Adderley, I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out from the beautiful San Jose Emerald Bay in Exuma for ZNS Total Sports.
Oh, well, the DTSP Wolfpack Track Club set to host their annual track meet this weekend. That's going to be the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Now, according to Coach Larry Clark, the level of competition is expected to be high.
Competition is going to be intense. It's going to be high. As we were paying attention to what was going on, we saw the level of competition. We saw how kids were preparing themselves for the meet. And as you know, Carifta's short is coming soon this year. So a lot of kids will be running fast the first several meets of the year.
Additionally, this year's meet will feature an armed forces relay competition featuring athletes from the Defense Force, as well as the Department of Corrections, Customs, Immigration, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Now, the Defense Force are the defending champs, and they were the only ones that showed up for the interview today. Could be the others are maybe perhaps running scared.
We basically went over the same train that we went with for the last track meet that we have for law enforcement last year, November. So we're going to continue with that because we found that it was a winning strategy.
The last track meet, we had a slow start, but we dominated the competition. And the same strategy will be carried out for this one. We're the military. We come in, we strike hard, we get our target, and we go home.
And that's it. You check on sports for you here on this beautiful Tuesday. Once again, I'm Marcellus Hall. Stick around. A look at the weather is just ahead.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Tune into the ZNS Network for a rebroadcast of the Prime Minister's National Statement on Crime. That's tomorrow night at 8 on the ZNS Television Network.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m., join the ZNS Network for the annual Parliamentary Church Service, live from Trinity Methodist Church, Frederick Street in Nassau. That's the annual Parliamentary Church Service, tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network. Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures are showing a weak front boundary across South Florida that is moving towards the south and east, so we will start to see some increase in clouds over the northwest Bahamas beginning tonight, and that will also be accompanied by some showers as well as that front system continues to push towards the south and east. Now tonight, we're looking at warm with increasing clouds, low temperature around 73 degrees, and tomorrow cloudy with occasional rain and a thunderstorm, particularly in the early part of the morning, then turning breezy in the afternoon with a high temperature of 79 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, the showers will be with us right through Thursday. The reason for that front, once it goes through tomorrow, it will then back up on Thursday as a warm front across the northwest Bahamas, maintaining some of that shower activity in the area. And then come Friday, late, that second front will push through a much stronger one that goes through late Friday night, early Saturday morning. So we will see cloudy conditions on Saturday with showers and even some thunderstorms in the works as well. But once that front goes through on Saturday, we will see some nice cooler temperatures during the nighttime. They will sink into the low 60s and those daytime temperatures in the 70s. LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Basil. And who runs the world? Well, as Beyonce belts out in her hugely popular feminist anthem, Girls. And this here plays right into that thinking. Females represent some 23% of the Royal Bahamas Defense Forces command team. Among the seniors enlisted, 25% according to the force's Commodore, Dr. Raymond King, who spoke of additions to his senior team.
And we've endorsed the policy recently, considered as gender optimization, to ensure But women are considered in every facet, every promotional opportunity, every training opportunity, billet, assignment. And they're fully included and involved and infused, particularly as a part of the decision-making process within the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. And I'm quite pleased to have Captains Natasha Miller, Sonia Miller, head of our Executive Leadership Corps.
The new captains expressed elation and gratitude for this opportunity.
I am sure that with the women around the table, we will bring a different flair to the decision-making process. And I've always been up to the challenge. And today we stand, both of us stand on the heel of the women who would have been before us, by Kowski, Cheryl, Bevel. So I know today they're extremely proud of our efforts and our accomplishments.
Obtaining the rank of captain and becoming a member of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force executive team is a great accomplishment for me, and I am extremely grateful. My 27-year career has been filled with challenges and triumph. This is one of the triumphs.
And speaking of women, just before we go, I'd like to send out a special happy Founders Day to my sorors, the beautiful and oh-so-fine ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. 104 years of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. We're not the first, but definitely the finest. And that does it for the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. From all of us here at ZNS, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.
Hey.